Hello and welcome to another episode of Nolo Time, the only podcast about geeky stuff on YouTube that is not endorsed or sponsored by Raid's Shadow Legend. My name is Obed Velez, and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
I will say, Oped, we will take though the sponsorship if it was offered.
Raycon.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you can send us an email, plug it in.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
NoloTime@gmail.com.
Good to be with you.
Yeah, good to be here, bro. How are you?
Life's good, can't complain. Having a few days off here personally. I know we're approaching this beginning of our holiday season here with Thanksgiving here in the States. I know next week we will not be having an episode, so I'll make that
Yep.
clear off the top of the show. But yeah, it's a great
Unless
time to
unless
recuperate.
something like insane
Yes.
happens, then Friday maybe we'll do
Breaking
so.
news:
Yeah.
PlayStation 6 coming to you. So, no, I'm just messing. No, you
like
never know.
like
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy's at a Lucasfilm.
No. Okay. Yeah.
We'll talk about that. We'll
Oh
talk
well,
about that.
some
We'll talk
there's
about
some
that.
people that would believe that statement.
Right. Right. Cool. So what's up, man? What you up to?
Yeah. Well, I know we're going to be talking a little bit about Disney Plus Day. Here on the show in a little bit, and I got to enjoy Disney Plus Day personally that evening. So on that Friday after work, there was throughout the day, I guess AMC was doing these Disney Plus Day screenings, surprise screenings that they were showing. I heard about it and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I saw they were doing one for Star Wars, and I was like, okay, now you piqued my interest. You know, there's not many times you get to see a Star Wars film on the big screen, and that's the way they're meant to be experienced, in my humble opinion. And of course, you don't know which one it's going to be, right? So, uh, when they announced it, of course, they didn't say what the movie was, but they did have the runtime posted in on the Showtime. So based on that, I made an assumption that it was Rogue One, and yes, indeed, it was Rogue One. So I got to watch Disney Plus Day screening of Rogue One in the theaters
Nice.
again. That was pretty cool. They gave us, you know what? When it comes to your turn around, I'm gonna go ahead and grab it because I totally forgot to grab it off air here. But they gave us also these posters. They gave us
Okay.
a Book of Boba Fett poster.
Cool.
They showed some kind of Simpsons thing beforehand, and then they also gave us an extended look at the Book of Boba Fett. So,
All right.
um, it was the same trailer that you see that came out already, but just a couple added sequences.
Okay.
And when I say added sequences, it was just a few seconds long extra. So nothing earth shattering, just cool to see little extra moments. I don't need that. That thing's coming out December 29th. That's going to be here before we know it. They've already got me. I'm just happy I get Hawkeye next week because I've been
Yeah.
dry on the Marvel content. No offense to Eternals, but
That's Wednesday,
if you
right?
don't know about that, check last week's episode.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
That's Wednesday, right?
that is Wednesday,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
So and then you
Nice.
get two episodes, if I'm not mistaken, 2 hours of
Oh wow.
content.
I probably won't
So
get that. Won't get to that until maybe Thursday night or Friday.
yeah, yeah,
Because I'll be working late on Wednesday,
yeah.
so we'll catch that later. But yeah, Disney Plus Day was pretty good, and I got to watch a highly anticipated movie that I really wanted to watch for a long time, and that is Home Sweet Home Alone, and that was uh, I watched it, but no one was excited about it. um, that's nice. That's nice. I
Yeah.
like it. I like it.
If you guys are
That's cool.
listening to the podcast version, check out our video. But I'm holding up the Book of Boba Fett poster they gave us. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
Got
Uh,
Slave One in the back.
Slave One. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, a Home Sweet Home Alone, man. It had its moments. It was funny in certain places, and you know, it was an okay spin on the Home Alone thing. Definitely a sort of like pseudo sequel. So
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, it's worth the Christmas watch.
Yeah, I was gonna
I mean,
casually
of
watch
course,
it.
it's not as good as the you know
Oh yeah.
first two, and you know, or Elf, the best Christmas movie ever made. So, uh, but yeah, it was entertaining, and here and there. Anywho, Shang-Chi, I texted you. because I finally got around to see Shang-Chi. Bro, I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot,
Please
dude.
tell me your breakdown on this,
A
man.
lot.
We can finally talk spoilers.
So I heard that some people found the first act slow. I thought it was fine because it really establishes the characters in a really good way, right? And that entire intro in Mandarin was really good. Like that was unexpected, and very well done. Yeah, overall, like the first act was good. I think the bro. Okay, I want to talk about the Mandarin, not the real Mandarin, but the Mandarin from Iron Man 3.
Oh, was he hilarious,
Bro,
bro?
cause I was like literally like cracking up,
He was
dude. Ben
hilarious.
Kingsley is like, it's crazy, right? That Ben Kingsley, like, he won an Oscar for playing freaking Gandhi, dude,
I
back in
know.
the day, which is very racist, by the way. But
Yeah.
but holy
He's
crap,
known for his
he's
chops and
no,
he brings it.
yeah, but his comedic timing is it's on a different level, dude. It's like,
Have you watched The
yo,
Assembled yet for this?
no,
Okay, so check it out when you get a chance.
okay,
He goes into like how he brought out all this stuff and like he was like really pushing them on how the whole Morris thing was gonna be and like all this stuff. I mean, he completely set up a lot of those jokes himself.
it
Hilarious.
was, yeah,
I
dude.
mean, I know there were scenes I literally, dude, was losing it
Yeah, like there
with this
was
movie.
humor, in the movie, right?
Yeah,
Going into it.
Aquafina's funny.
Yeah, yeah. So it was very lighthearted. The movie itself was like, I don't necessarily think it was like necessarily dark. It was fairly lighthearted overall. But bro, when he shows up and freaking Morris and the whole thing with it was so funny, man. So funny. It was really good. Fighting choreography, top notch, man. I haven't seen fighting choreography this good in a long time. Probably
Yeah.
since maybe Daredevil. Like when Netflix Daredevil, that fighting choreography was really good, but this one was more. Uh, it was more Chinese, so this was like, and by that I mean like Hong Kong cinema, Jackie Chan and all this stuff. So it was very very Hong Kong cinema type of thing, and it was great. It was great. Like everyone was really good. The stunts were amazing. Um, the I think I don't want to say that the movie kind of like falls apart in the like the last sequence, right? Because it's visually stunning and it's really cool. Um, it just kind of, I feel like it detracted from the family drama that was really good, and it went into this high fantasy.
You're talking about when they get to Talo, right? That's specifically
Yeah.
when they get
Well,
there,
when the
right?
when the when that's fine, right? Because they got to a Chinese Wakanda, right?
Basically.
And then it's like, oh, you got all the creatures from myth, right? Um, and of course we already knew about the dragon from the trailers and all that, and I just think that the whole thing was like really overdone. I think it was cool that it's like, hey, they had to join forces because they were gonna all get eaten up,
Yeah.
and that was fine, right? It was like the turning point in the movie where everyone's working together for the greater good, I guess. Um, it, but it was too much, and then the guardian dragon does the Leviathan tsunami from Final Fantasy, and it's crazy with the references and all that, and it was great, right? Visually stunning, and it was all cool. But I think that the whole family thing that was going on, that was really good from the beginning of the movie, kind of like got lost in that craziness at the end. Because I was really enjoying the dynamics between the Mandarin and Shang-Chi and the sister and all that. So that part of the movie was really strong, and then at the end just goes off the rails. I That's just my opinion. I'm not saying that it was bad, right? Because it was very very enjoyable. Like I said, visually stunning, all very cool. but the story like comes to like a screeching halt. It's like the story is progressing, right, and the family dynamics are progressing, and then it just stops and it becomes about dragons, and it's awesome, right? Really cool, but like it feels like that family thing that was going on was not resolved, and it left me like unsatisfied. That said, overall, I liked it more than Black Widow.
Oh,
So
100%.
yeah,
I try.
so
I promise you, sir. You like this movie more than Eternals, even though you haven't seen it
oh
yet.
yeah,
No,
probably
this is the
yeah.
best. I said to you early on, this is my opinion. Everyone's it's subjective, right? But in my opinion, same as you, it's the best Marvel film of the year, and we got three of them. So
Well, I mean,
hey,
there's one coming up.
that's what I was just about to add to that, right? We
Yeah.
got one coming up, and in my humble opinion, in the 2 weeks that it has before the end of 2021, I think it can literally destroy the box office. And we'll get into it in a little bit here, but I think it has a chance to literally be the number one movie of the entire year in the 2 weeks that's running. Has a chance. Doesn't mean it will, but it
Yeah,
has a
that's a
chance.
chance. That's a chance.
No, this
Cool.
movie's really good. I know I mentioned it before, but now that you've actually, seen the movie,
Yeah,
the rings, like I told you before, that kind of bothered me a little bit that
that
it
didn't
was
bother me at all.
power, just, power fist bracelets, and they didn't really get into anything that the actual abilities are. I mean, obviously, in post credit scene, they set up, in my humble opinion, something that sets up,
Uh,
where they could take it
yeah.
beyond to the deeper into the mythology and explore the rings more.
Hmm.
But I know that was like something that kind of just little poked the bear a little bit at me, where it's just these, super punch bracelets.
Yeah. Also, why is Banner back to normal?
Yeah, and the whole Bruce Banner still having his arm in a sling because even the Hulk, like, I can't, bro. I can't get behind this.
Like,
And I know
I don't
other
know,
people
I
that are
don't know
Hulk
where they're
people
going.
too.
Yeah,
Like, I don't. And
I don't.
now they're gonna have She-Hulk, which we'll get into that too, which is cool and
And
all,
the
but
trade,
like
yeah, that's the thing, right?
having
Because
him like that doesn't make
just
sense.
going into the She-Hulk stuff real quick.
Yeah,
Because Banner's back to being Hulk. Like
right.
it's like okay, so this doesn't make sense. I'm sure we'll get an explanation somewhere. I'm sure
Yeah.
Kevin Feige has something up his sleeve. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it from beginning to end quite a bit. Like I said, the family stuff felt unresolved. That was kind of disappointing, but all in all, was very enjoyable. I liked it a lot. So yeah, cool.
Very
I'll
good.
put
Very
I'll put
good.
it up there. Like I liked it better than Doctor Strange.
Yep.
I probably liked it better. I mean, I liked it better than Thor. The Dark World.
Yep.
Of course. Probably better than Iron Man 2. I want to say.
Yeah, that's fair.
Iron Man 3 is different because that movie has heart. So, and it's also a Christmas movie, by the way. So there you go. Watch a
Yeah.
Christmas movie. Um. So yeah, cool. Liked it.
Yeah,
Uh.
it's hard to do
uh,
a power rankings on Marvel. I know the ones I didn't like it that much, but then there's some of them they kind of blend together. It's like they could both be shared at this spot.
yeah.
And it's
I'd say.
they've
I'd say.
got a lot of movies now.
Yeah. I'd say I liked it better than Captain Marvel. And you
Yeah.
know. Let's see. Not as much as the Spideys. Spideys were really good. So yeah. Yeah. So it's in the middle ish somewhere. So
Good place to be for an origin story. Good place to be.
yeah, for a Marvel movie, yeah. I mean, I can't wait to see what they do with the character. Right, it's one of those
Yeah.
characters that's probably gonna keep evolving,
That's
and
that's what Banner says. Then welcome to the big show now.
yeah,
Welcome to
exactly.
the circus now or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's exactly
You
what he said.
know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
Joel, let's talk about it because I mean, I know that there's people waiting for us to talk about this live right now. Um, okay, so the second trailer for Spider-Man: No Way Home came out, and it was crazy because we all knew it was gonna be crazy. That said, to me, the craziest part, dude, is the obvious, like, there's supposed to be someone standing right here because there's that blurring that they did on Photoshop or whatever is not the best. So you can tell that characters got removed. Um, very good. Very good setting it up. I like that the Doc Hawk, it seems to be more of a neutral character more than anything. He may be a villain at the beginning of the movie, and then he probably has the change of heart that he was meant to have or had at the end of Spider-Man 2. And it would be great to see a continuation of that Doc Ock and like, hey, I can help, right? So that's great. We didn't get a lot of Goblin, but what we got, I got two things from that. Green Goblin's back, right? Of course, like we knew that from the first teaser. Was that Harry?
No, I don't think so.
You don't
I don't
think?
think so.
No, but not Harry in the Green Goblin suit. But there's a scene that's blurred out, that the face is blurred out, and it's a goblin flying in with no helmet, and the suit's different.
Uh,
You know, and
See,
goggles, wearing
so
goggles.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
No, I hear,
Yeah.
and it would be cool if it is. Please don't get me wrong.
Okay.
So my theory on, especially at the very end when he says they're all coming through, right? I think, and even there's a couple different shots of Goblin where one where he's got the hood on and with the goggles, and then you got where and he's flying in, like you said, and then you have the other one where you see the traditional suit.
Yeah.
I think both of them are Defoe. I think that's even the point of this movie. Like
Okay.
even like Electro, right? It's Electro, but that's not the same one from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
If anything, it's like it's other versions of them that are coming into this world. It's not the exact same ones from even the Maguire verse or
Yeah.
even from these other ones.
Well,
I think it's like multiple. Like there, you could even have at some moment, as crazy as it sounds, you might even have blue skinned Electro and yellow skin Electro in this movie.
because
At some
Doc
point.
Ock, yeah, because Doc Ock says it. You know, you're going out in the night fighting ghosts, so
Yeah.
they're not like necessarily the same that
They're
they
not.
were. Yeah.
Right. These
Yeah.
are the same. These are the same characters, but another version of them
Yeah.
being brought in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for all of them that's the case, and I think that's the whole point about the conversation around fate, right? Like there are certain absolutes in the Marvel universe. If you watch What If, Doctor Strange experiences that with the death of Christine. Like there's all these different things that like are absolutes like in his timeline, and the same thing happens here, and we learn
Yeah.
that even in Loki, right? In the Loki show,
Yeah.
where they talk about like everything happens exactly as it's ordained by He who remains. So like if something gets thrown off the timeline, it literally destroys the entire universe. So yeah,
Yeah.
like every single one of them have to die, even in their own timelines, like wherever they came from.
Correct, yeah, because they come like they're like clearly, and again, going back to Doc Ock, it's clearly the one from Spider-Man 2, because like, whoa, you're not Peter Parker, because he doesn't like,
But is it?
but
Because on his Peter
that's the
Parker
thing,
could still
right?
look like Tobey Maguire's, but it still may not be the exact
So
same one.
yeah, because this
Maybe,
is
I don't know.
like no,
Yeah.
and I think you put it. I think you're right in comparing it to, or comparing the characters here to a What If version of them, because it is technically the same version, but in a
Exactly.
What If scenario.
Right.
So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I think
yeah.
a lot of people that like that whole part of it, I think might mess up some people. Like this is gonna. I think that's why they've been trying to teach us the multiverse. They've been trying to teach us these
Yeah.
concepts
Yep.
because they want to educate the casual for what's to come in this movie, and
Correct.
then whatever happens in obviously Doctor Strange 2, we're just
Yep.
gonna take this thing and throw it on its, upside down all over the place.
Yep. Who punched the lizard?
Which Spider-Man punched the lizard?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think it's just 3 in that shot, sir.
No, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we're gonna see a lot of Spider-Mans
There's
all of a sudden.
there's clearly space for several there, sir.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
there really could be like 6 of them. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like there could be a bunch of them coming
No,
through.
no
at the
lie.
same
It could be the main three, right? Miles and Venom.
Yeah, seriously,
Like,
yeah.
honestly, yeah.
And Gwen or Spider-Gwen or something. We don't even know.
Could you imagine Emma Stone showing up and she's Spider-Gwen, bro?
I know, yeah. It could happen, bro. Could happen.
Also, people are gonna lose their nuts when Garfield catches Zendaya is falling down. People are
my
gonna go
gosh.
crazy in the
Okay.
movie theater, dude, because it's so obvious that it's gonna be him that saves
I was
her.
waiting for it in the trailer.
Yeah. Honestly, I that's, you know what, I thought about it. Yeah. Also,
I'm
they're
just
really misleading with the suits, though. That's
yeah,
what's the craziest thing with the
yeah,
suit, right? The suit's just an asset that you can flip. You can it's select a suit, like what you do on PlayStation to change
right,
your suits. They can literally do that for the movie.
yeah.
So at different places, he may not even be wearing the same suit, right? It's they're just throwing you off.
Yeah, right, right. No, you're
Yeah,
absolutely right. To make you think, yeah, and then yeah, absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
100%. No, I think there's things that are in this trailer that may not even make it to the movie or be shown the same way in the movie
Correct.
completely.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Like there's some things that you're saying that are blurred out, and there's other things I'm like, this might be just literally complete. Like, look at this hand, don't look at this one because we've got some things planned here. Yeah, I to going back to the whole Zendaya falling, like it's cool in the movies and all, but it's like the first time it ever happened, it made sense, right? Because think about it, like
And
Doc Ock took her captive. She wasn't like,
well,
you know what I mean,
the
trying to have
first
that
time
happen, right?
was Goblin and the
Yes,
kids. I
yes,
was like, you
and the
gotta
kids,
choose between the love of your life or the life of the children,
right?
and you know, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it makes
So
a choice between there. Right? It's not
correct,
like
yeah,
the everything after that, like Gwen falling, they're recreating comic book scene. Okay, cool. And then in this one, I'm like, you better give us a good reason why she's up on top of this big thing, because it makes no sense. What are you doing there? Like,
so
I'm sorry.
so
Don't hurt Peter. Like, what?
did you see the
Uh,
Bully Maguire trailer that they posted on YouTube
no,
this morning?
no.
Yeah, it's really good. It's just what's what's the scene? What the oh man. There's one scene. It's like I forgot, but it's like Doctor Strange says something. I'm gonna look it up. Hold on,
What, the
because
police or something?
it
I
was
don't know.
freaking hilarious the way they did it on the trailer. But it was on the comments when I was going through the comments and it was really good. Hold on.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, no ad audio. Um, it was the way they edited it was really good. Uh,
How
it
many
was like
Spider-Man will be in that scene? No idea. I mean, I think people assume just three, but
yeah,
my
you would assume just three.
when you got Tom Holland making statements like, I think the next thing they should do is let Miles be Spider-Man. Like, you don't just say that
Yeah, we've been
stuff.
talking
Like,
about
he
Miles for
knows
a
he
couple
knows
episodes
something.
now, and
Yeah.
like my line of thinking is that um that eventually something has to give, and Sony has to continue doing their own thing, right? And then Marvel still needs Spidey somewhere. So my assumption is that you probably have a good opportunity for Marvel to do something with Miles, and then Peter Parker goes back to being a Sony thing. So I mean, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when Peter goes, it's like I can't save everyone. It's like I missed the part where that's my problem when he was with the black suit. Yeah,
Oh
so yeah,
yeah.
it was good.
So
It was awesome. The way they edited it was awesome. So
so the suit with the very clear amulet, which we had talked about before on the show, with when they'll leak this with like a toy or something,
yeah,
for Spidey, like obviously he's seems at some point he disagrees with Strange and doesn't want to have to kill off all these people
correct.
coming through. Where Strange is like, that's their fate, they have to die, they got to go, we got to send them back,
Yeah,
and it probably has to do with whatever happens with Doc Ock in
yeah.
this
Clearly,
movie,
yeah,
right?
like clearly he doesn't want this to happen again because it happened with Mysterio, and it's something
Right,
that he doesn't want to repeat, and he's gonna be working towards finding a way to not have to kill everyone. So,
right.
yeah,
No, you're right. You're right. But like, whatever that amulet is, whatever he's with what he's wearing, where he's got the the strange spinny thing going on there, like I'm assuming that's either an ability to open and close portals and send them back to their universes, or is that a way of him somehow harnessing a specific type of magic where maybe he's casting a spell to reveal things. Like I don't know what that is, but that's that's a new idea. That's a new concept. So Hopefully it's not too silly, but it looks cool, at least in that one visual shot we got there. That was
Yeah.
a lot of people have been asking me, what is that? Why has he got that thing going on there? We can only take guesses. That's not really pulling from the source material again. So yeah, I mean a month away, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Oh, two things. I don't know if you've seen the breakdown by New Rockstars, which, by the way, it's really good. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes.
So, did you catch the whole Statue of Liberty thing and Kevin Feige and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a coming around. So here's the thing, right? When it's like they're starting to come through and I can't stop them. Who is it? Just Spider Man they're coming through, or is
No,
there another heroes that had a clash on the Statue of Liberty a long time ago?
I know. I that
I don't know.
could be an idea there. I, my instinct was because, like I'm saying, there are multiple iterations of these villains. What if it's just literally like seven Electros and seven Sandman?
Do you
Like
think we're
what if
gonna
it's
get? Yeah,
all these different versions of them just all of a sudden? And it could seem silly to some people, but it would actually make sense in
like
the
it's gonna be
circumstance because
like the
the
final
amount of
like the final battle in Avengers and Endgame is like this thing happening. No, it's too much.
yeah,
I think it's too
we
much.
can't keep them all. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's too much. That said, I do
but it doesn't mean
think
that we'll actually see them come through. I don't think.
yeah, it's yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't think we'll see all those characters come in. I think it's just the point of saying like ideologically, like the
Oh
stakes
yeah,
are
yeah,
so
yeah.
high that there could be instead of it being like, oh, the world's gonna end. It's like the universe could end because
Yeah.
there's a crack here.
Do you
Will
think
Loki be in this show? I kind of wonder, man.
on the
Like,
movie? Potentially. Yeah.
yeah,
So do you think we'll see Topher Grace Venom because they all died at Spider Man? You know, or Spider like he was the only one that Spider Man straight up killed in the original trilogy.
yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
Sandman lived at the end. Like he went
right.
away. He was like, "Oh, please forgive me," and he he was forgiven and he flew away. Right. But Venom got straight up murdered. Like he got grenaded. So I mean, him being the one right that died fighting Spider Man, like literally, or killed by. Sure, why not? The same again as James Franco right now is not a hot commodity, but you can get him in for a cameo. People will lose their minds and forget about allegations, and just keep going. Just keep minding their own business, and that's it, right? So, um,
You could do it without though having some of these characters'
yeah,
faces. Like
the
it, like
well, the one I can really do without it's the Goblin from Amazing, and I didn't like,
oh my
and he's a
gosh,
great actor. It's just not that the
it didn't
character
work.
his character was bad.
I think a lot of the people they had in the Amazing Spider-Man movies were good actors. It just didn't work.
Yeah, yeah,
They had
I
a lot
think
of
yeah, because I think the
talented
cast
people.
overall for those two movies were really
Yeah.
good,
Oh yeah.
strong, and then it's just the writing just didn't work.
Didn't
So
work. Yeah.
yeah, I mean we could see a revised version of that Goblin with Electro
Yeah.
potentially. With that's something that we can see. So
I love Electro's look, man. I
it looks good.
love what they
Looks good.
did
He
there.
reminds me of the one from the game a lot. Yeah,
Yes.
it's almost the
Yes.
same design, like almost to a
Ah,
T. Yeah, it's good.
so much better.
Oh yeah, a million times. That's the only thing I texted you when I saw the trailer. I was like,
Yeah.
Electro looks a million times
It's
better.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's good. No, I think that I'm very excited. I am very, very, very excited for this movie. Oh, we didn't see Rhino, and we know Rhino's gonna be in it.
Oh, I
So
know.
yeah,
Again, for them to compare this movie, saying this is the end game of Spider-Man, you've got to have end game level stuff where you've got the portals and all these different characters coming through and things. So yeah, expects crazy stuff. Don't try and as a fan, like it's hard for us to try and figure everything out. Like that's why I
yeah,
don't want to keep watching the trailer because I start watching it too much and I start thinking too much. When I think too much, I start putting things together or trying to put things together.
yeah.
So I keep my
Uh,
expectations of like I'm just gonna have a great time. There's gonna be a bunch of Spider-Mans in this movie, and that's all that
Because
matters,
we
and I'm
yeah,
good.
because we did
So
that
we'll
for
see how it
Rise of
goes.
Skywalker, and we were dead wrong.
Yeah.
Moving on to Star Wars. We'll talk Disney Plus Day in a minute. Um, the reports are, Joel, that basically every Star Wars YouTuber, with the exception of maybe Theory, right?
Yeah.
We're wrong. And we've been saying it for almost 2 years. Since Rise of Skywalker came out, we've been saying that Kathleen Kennedy is not going anywhere. She's not
Yeah.
going anywhere. It's as ridiculous as it sounds, right? It just, we knew, like, so yeah. I mean, the report is that she signed another 3-year contract to stay as the head of Lucasfilm. Um, it's nothing directly confirmed, but the sources are reputable, and man babies are crying. So, Joe, what is up?
Whew. I want to be. I want to try to be kind, but I gotta say what I gotta say. I'm not trying to aim this at anyone directly, but it's just a matter of fact,
Okay,
and it's just that
all right.
when you start putting out misinformation to intentionally prey upon people's emotional state or connection to something to grow your own following, that is an extremely low level a way of really creating a platform for yourself. Like here at No Load Time, we don't want to be known as the guys who are just bad mouthing projects that people are specifically passionate about, creating fake stuff, saying that we've got some kind of sources, just so that way people can come follow our show and we become the number one Star Wars loving slash hating channel because we get all these people following us just because we're talking bad about it. Like
We're
that's
super
not
neutral.
the way to
Yeah,
do it.
like we're
There
very
are
neutral about Star Wars because
I,
it's
I,
like it's the top thing. That's my favorite thing. Like my most favorite thing in the world, Star Wars.
but I
But
mentioned to you before, it reeks of a certain type of person, and I'm not going to get into it, but these are the kind of things where it's like, hey, let's purposely keep like somebody's, the bear's already agitated, so let's keep poking it and to try and make them get all riled up and more angry. And I think these people actually, if anything, made the Star Wars community even more divided, made them
oh
even
yeah,
more upset, just kept throwing wood on that fire
yeah,
because people are like, yeah, see, we hate Kathleen. Where people might have been before, like, I just don't like it. Where it became a hatred for some people, and some of the people talking about it, I started to lose respect for them
yeah.
because the way they were
Like
talking about the stuff with Kathleen Kennedy came from a place of like it was like they were trying to speak it into existence without actually having facts.
yeah,
And like
yeah.
the difference between us is like we don't want Kathleen Kennedy to be in charge of Star Wars, but we're not telling you because we don't want her, therefore she's not going to be there. That's not how it works in real life. And throwing those kind of baby fits, those man baby fits, doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like you have to go off the logic. You and I have said it before. The Mandalorian, Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Rogue One. These are all Kathleen Kennedy projects. Technically, there are people under her who actually made the projects, right? We can give credit to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, right? But we can't look at them only. Kathleen Kennedy's name is still in the credits for those projects. In fact, she even does behind the scenes featurettes
Executive
for those.
producer. Yeah,
So
exactly.
she has things on her resume enough to keep her along. Now, I think, Obed, if we would have had Bob Iger, not Bob Chapek, running the show, I'm not so certain that we would have had this news right now.
I agree.
That's
I
another
agree.
soul but that's speculation, Obed. We're not going to come out and say that this person's not here just because we don't like it.
Yep. I mean, we talked about it before that directly the YouTubers that we
The
refer
receipts
to,
are out
right?
there,
It's
man.
like
We're not
it's like
trying to
we're
say
not
it.
throwing out there, but there's like there's already videos out there about hey, this guy's a liar. This guy that I've mentioned on the show, right? It's
Yeah.
like just a month ago, like 2 videos in the same week. Kathleen Kennedy gone. Kathleen Kennedy quitting. Like a month ago, and
There
we
was a
said it.
meeting held and they all agreed to remove.
Yeah,
You
my
can't.
sources are telling me that this was it. This is the last straw. And nothing ever happens. This is like the Star Wars QAnon. It's like all these things are gonna happen and
Thank
nothing
you.
ever
Thank you.
happens.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. I
yeah.
wasn't going
It's
to
like,
try and say it,
oh
but you
yeah,
know what? It's true.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we talked about it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, these guys are all saying that all this Star Wars stuff is gonna happen, but
Where?
behind the scenes, war and all this hatred and all these things, and nothing is true and nothing ever happens. And you know, things just keep moving along and rolling along, and however you want to call it, right? But it just keeps going. Um, and
Like we're saying this without having to wear a mask on our face and cover our voices.
oh, Joe,
Listen,
Joe,
some of these boys don't,
Joe.
they don't got enough of a
Wow.
stance to stand up there and say this stuff, bro.
Wow. Man.
Well, hey, look, we got people who already try to take stories from us, Ray Fisher and all this kind of stuff. Look, we go for it. We say it. We do this stuff. We're not the kind of people who will take credit for stuff and not
No,
be
man.
present in the room.
Yeah.
All
This
right, I
was,
went there. Sorry,
bro, no, but honestly, like we've been saying it for
we
almost
know what
two
we're talking
years.
about. Just a little bit.
It's like, I don't know. And it's but like, again, and you said it, it's like, we don't want her to be in charge, but us throwing hissy fits and posting fake videos about, quote unquote sources and drama, quote unquote, behind the scenes and all this stuff, it's not gonna make it happen, right? And I said it 2 weeks ago, right? Remember, 2 weeks ago, I said if something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen this week, and if it doesn't happen, it's not
You
gonna
did.
happen.
You did say that.
And look, 3 years. Like I said it, it's like if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day of the fiscal year for the Walt Disney Company. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, it's not going to happen.
You
So
understand how the
people
business
kept post,
works.
yeah, yeah. People kept posting videos as like, oh, she's out quitting, that that same following week. I was like, no, bro, it's done. It's a done deal. She's staying, and I can leave with that. I'm a grown ass man. I don't have to
Your
like.
life goes on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't have to make like hate videos or it's like yeah, whatever. I mean, we'll see how Ahsoka and Obi-Wan and all this other stuff comes out. It's like we'll be the judges of that, right?
Right.
At the end of the
Right.
day. Uh, but we're not gonna hear it's like, oh, here we go. Let's talk about that. Now, on the other hand, we'll talk about it later. I mean, there's other people that I do think needs to be like physically removed from their position.
100%.
We'll talk about it later.
Yes.
But yeah, Disney. It's fine. Whatever. We'll
I mean, like
we'll
like
keep
it's fun.
getting Star Wars content, and that's fine by me.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I don't care.
Yeah. Like you're super cool about it. Like I'll go as far to say like I'm not happy about the news. I don't like my reaction to it is not a positive one. But at the same time, like to your point about the like I don't care, we're still gonna get Star Wars content. It's like not like people acting like that's it, it's over. Like there's everything that comes out, so long as she's in charge, judge it subjectively. Don't bring with you
Correct.
the baggage of certain films and certain projects onto and say, oh, this is gonna be okay. If there's a female lead, it's gonna be like this. If there's this, it's gonna be like doesn't always mean that. It could be, we could, but let's judge every single one individually and see how it goes from there. Like you said, the judgment will come when the time is right. But yeah, I think the future of Star Wars still can be very bright because we still have hope after like things like the Mandalorian. Like that should be something that really brings fans
Hmm.
together, and that should be something
Yeah.
that gets fans to be excited about where we're going
Yeah.
in the future, and not live so much, in what happened
Th-
that last trilogy.
yeah. That said, there is an update on the Patty Jenkins thing that it was due to, creative differences, and this has been the problem all along,
And
right?
you called that too.
Yeah, and it's this has been the problem all along. Is that at some point, bro, you gotta let go and you gotta trust your directors and trust your writers. At some point, you have to stop the micromanaging and you have to give your directors some freedom. Um, you know, Marvel's not 100%. I can't even think of the word right now. I'm pumped. Actually, my blood is flowing.
Oh yeah, we were going, man.
Marvel's
We're
not
going.
innocent of that. That's the word I was
No,
looking
it's true.
for because we've had it. We had problems with Ant Man. Doctor Strange is going through reshoots. The Doctor Strange original director, the Multiverse of Madness
Yep.
director, quit, and Sam Raimi was brought on board with rewrites and reshoots, and
Joss Whedon.
like they're not oh that was a tragedy.
Yeah.
That was borderline criminal what they did to Zack Snyder,
Yeah.
because you're gonna tell me that you at least not going to put out a functional film that people can enjoy and put out that thing that they put out originally?
Warner Brothers have their problems.
Oh, plenty of them. More than Lucasfilm and Marvel
Yeah, you
rolled
think
together.
Lucasfilm has
Yeah,
problems? Yeah.
yeah. Warner's and we've said it. And
Christopher
again,
Nolan left for Universal. I was like,
and
oh, that's done, man.
yeah, and again, people are not going anywhere. Like we saw it with DC. Like no one's gotten fired over that trash fire that happened, a few years ago. So, yeah, that's how it works, and we'll get content, and like I said, we'll be the judges ourselves, and we'll see how things pan out.
But you are right, though. There is a pattern. Like when you said that
Oh
with
yeah, yeah,
Patty
yeah.
Jenkins up, like that's the things that I can say. I understand the
Solo
concern.
and Rogue
Like,
One and
and pretty much every project that Kathleen has
Rise
been
of
in charge of,
Skywalker or whatever it was
outside of maybe
before.
Mando and these other animated stuff, like
Yeah,
there's been a problem with the directors and massive reshoots or whatever for
yeah,
everyone. That is a bad pattern. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, even Obi-Wan, like you said, I
yeah.
mean that thing got
Obi
completely
Wan
shut
got
down.
Obi Wan
So
got fully rewritten.
yeah, they shut that thing down.
Yeah, that's why
So
it took it got delayed a year or whatever. So I
we'll
mean,
find out.
yeah, I mean we'll I guess we'll have this conversation again in 3 years, unless next shareholders meeting doesn't go too great. So we'll see.
No, man, this guy's gonna come out with a video tomorrow. Sorry,
Oh,
I gotta control myself.
he usually
Such
posts
a,
on like Saturdays. That's like
yeah,
my lunch video on Saturdays. I'm here having lunch. It's like
just
my
laughing
sources
at
are
these
telling me
theories.
that anything that I say may or may not be true. It's like, why are
This is
you?
the J. Jonah
Why?
Jameson, like
Yeah, he's the Alex
Star
Jones of
Wars, the
Star
Alex Jones
Wars.
of
It's
Star
like,
Wars.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, bro,
Menace.
yeah, a menace. Yeah. Catherine Kennedy, a menace. Um, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
yeah, we'll wait and see, man. It's. I'm excited. We're getting content, and we're getting plenty of Star Wars content next year. So we'll be the judges of that. Disney Plus Day, Joe. I'll let you take the reins on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna give you guys a little rundown. Disney Plus Day, there's so many different things that came out. We're not gonna that were announced rather. We're not gonna run through the regular Disney stuff. We're just gonna cover the Marvel stuff. Unless Obed, you got anything you wanna cover, feel free to interrupt me at any moment if I
Uh,
miss it. Looking at Marvel, there's a few things that were announced that were already rumored, but got official confirmation. Things like Agatha, House of Harkness. That was a previously announced when we had the WandaVision was completed. There was already reports that they had brought on Catherine Hahn, so now we got the official confirmation there that Agatha House of Harkness is in production. Honestly, Obed, I don't know about your reaction to this. This is not a like I like how they did Agatha in the show. It's
yeah,
not a project that I'm too stoked about. I'm indifferent about. I
yeah,
don't know how you feel about it.
yeah. I'm not. It's a wait and see for me.
Sure.
It's like Eternals. It doesn't move my needle, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there.
Yeah,
So it basically, if I got the House of Harkness bombs, like it's not gonna make me lose faith or something.
it
Remove
could be
Kevin
good.
Feige.
I mean,
Could be good.
yeah. I mean, Catherine Hahn can carry.
She's great.
She can carry
Yeah.
a show, bro. So
Yeah.
we'll wait and see.
Yeah. All right, so X-Men 97. This was a pretty awesome announcement, Obed. I've already got a lot of great reaction from people from
Yes.
this project.
Yes.
This is a huge announcement because they're bringing back the original X-Men animated series and just calling it X-Men 97. To come back to that, I mean, obviously
They're
animation
continuing the
style,
story of
dated,
it
and all of
based on the
this,
way they
like,
said.
yeah, like this is Obed. Take it away because this is pretty crazy that they're doing this.
So I remember back in when was the original one? The '92 was when
Yeah,
the original came out, right?
yeah.
Um, we had just gotten cable maybe like 3 years prior to that. Um, and I was really bummed that our cable provider did not have Fox because I read about this show coming out on maybe a Game Pro or a Wizard or something, and I was like, oh, I really want to watch this show, and and the show had already started, but a few months later, my dad bought like a satellite dish, and we got Fox, and I watched. It was like this was like Saturday mornings, dude. This was like this, and then Power Rangers after that. You know, 12-year-old me was really enjoying it. And for the time, right, this was like probably the best comic book adaptation of anything ever. Even better than the Superman movies or Superman 1, because that's the one that people like really remember fondly, but it's, in my opinion, it's an okay movie. Um,
Agreed.
but I think this was like the first time we saw like, yo, like comic books can tell us, like, you can tell a story through animation, with comic book material. It was so good. I remember it, man, back in the day, and me and my friends would get together and watch it, and it was awesome. Like, I remember I watched the entire thing, um, maybe twice over, and but again, it's been almost 30 years since I watched it. It ended in 95. It was, I think, it was a couple
Three
of years.
seasons or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was really good. It was really good.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. When I heard about it, I was like, oh, no way, they're actually continuing the story, because the story ended with Magneto taking over the school, and Xavier was sick or whatever, and he had to go with Lilandra, and that's how it ended. And if they're gonna start from there, count me in, because like I wanted to, so it's like, oh man, they're ending it here. I really wanted to see where Magneto would take the school. Like I was actually interested in what would
Yeah.
happen after that. Um, but we'll see. 2023, it's a long way out, but I'm excited.
Yeah, it's echoes some of the same sentiments as you here. I know that, a few people I've spoken to, and I have watched it. Of course, I didn't watch it during its time like you did. I watched it after its time retrospectively, but it's like it's a series that was not afraid to take the goofiness of comic books
Yeah,
and portray it still in a format, a moving format, taking it off the pages, but keeping it true in animation. So the art style looks like the straight up comic book brought into animation,
yeah,
and the storylines are just as unique
and
as the comic books are, but it works.
it
Like it
crossed
works the way
over.
it's supposed to be.
Like
Yeah.
it crossed over. Like it crossed over with the Spider-Man show. And it
Yes.
crossed over with Punisher.
Yes.
It's like they did it. Like they were like the the real deal, because they got Spider-Man, Punisher. I think there was Captain America in a couple episodes. Like they were Fantastic Four crossed over one. Like they did the thing right. What the MCU ultimately wants to be able to achieve, they did it. And in
Mm.
animated form, but you know, I think the show ended when Marvel like hit the their financial crisis back in the 90s. So that's,
Bankruptcy. Yeah.
yeah, that was around the time, because the X-Men Children of the Atom game for the arcade Saturn that came out uh, during that era had the voices from the voice actors from the show in
Okay.
it. So we saw the games, we saw the Capcom games were awesome, and you know, back then Marvel licenses were cheap, and like LJN had the uh the license for like home consoles up until like the Super Nintendo. So on pretty much all Marvel properties, I think it may have ended in I think 94, because there was a port for the a port for the Punisher on the Genesis that was published by Capcom, and I think that's when that the whole thing with LJN ended. I think LJN at that point was Acclaim already, and they lost the licensing. So but yeah, back then, it was crazy, dude. The Marvel stuff back then was bananas, because you couldn't put out a video game at home because everything had to go through Acclaim slash LJN. And arcade. We had the X-Men arcade from Konami that was based on that pilot that was pitched back in like 1990 that never made it to be a show. Like it was just two pilot episodes or something like that, and then a couple years later we get this like a full series out of this one, right? It's nuts, man.
I love it.
Back then was just crazy, and then we got the Spider-Man show, and then same thing with Spider-Man, right? The arcade game was by Sega. The That was another crazy arcade game that was like Spider-Man, Black Cat. It was a four-player. It was a three-player with four characters, and it was Spider-Man, Black Cat, Hawkeye, and Namor. Those were the characters that you pick. It's
Man,
like you can't come up with that stuff now. It's crazy. And then
no.
the Data East game, the Captain America and the Avengers game, all these games, man, it was crazy. Yeah, it was a whole different monster back then, man. It was big. It was a big deal, right? Still, but not to the level that it's today. Like this, like we knew these characters because we knew the comics, and like this. But you would mention the X-Men to the general public, or you mention the Avengers to
Oh
like
yeah,
anyone
Avengers.
outside of like the fandom, and it was like, what's that? And oh yeah, I remember that from like the 70s. Oh yeah, like Spider-Man was the only one that probably stayed relevant
Yes.
throughout the 90s because the show being really good, and then uh them having a couple of more reboots. But other than Batman, I think Batman and Spider-Man were the ones that really like kept it through the 90s. Batman, of course, had movies, but then Spider-Man, we had to wait until 2000, what, one,
Yeah.
two? Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Well,
man.
this is great. I mean, X-Men 97, the complaint here from a lot of people is, it was a great announcement, but the bad news is we got to wait till 2023.
Yeah,
My reaction is, and I don't mean this to be funny, you've already waited a few decades. What's another 2 more years?
yeah, right.
So when it comes to, hopefully it will live up to what its original status was. I think it's going to be great. I'm curious to see what's going to happen here, but yeah, there's some excitement there.
Yep.
Echo was formally again announced here again. It is a spin-off from Hawkeye. So obviously with what's going on with from Kate Bishop and what's going to be going on in the series here, we'll find out about Echo, who is a Native American who is deaf. So this is going to be interesting to see them actually show this character get her own show, talking about again the push for diversity from Marvel, having a what would be considered a disabled hero, just like how we got with Matt Murdock's being blind. So Marvel's got a lot of really unique characters, and I love it when they take characters like this, where people who will have never heard of Echo, Obed, we
I
can
am
come
not
back.
familiar with Echo at all.
We can
So
come back to this episode, in literally a couple years when this comes out, probably be coming out 2023, I'd imagine. Um, and this thing's out here, and suddenly people are like, I know who Echo is, but yeah, in 2021 and before that, ain't nobody knew who Echo was unless you were a sweaty Marvel fan.
yeah, you gotta be super sweaty for that one because I'm
Yep.
not familiar with Echo at all. So
Yeah, yeah, no, it's gonna be cool. I mean,
yeah,
I hope so. We will be introduced to her though in the Hawkeye show because she's already been cast in that. So that'll be cool to find out again next week Wednesday, guys. Another little fun announcement here. I Am Groot. That's an animated show with Groot. Although from the picture, Obed, you get little baby Groot,
it's
the
very good.
same design from the movies. So when they say animated, I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but it kind of makes me wonder: is it the same animation that we like basically computer graphics? Like, are we not going to have humans? Like, is it just going to be him going around? Like, I don't know what to expect. But it'd be cool if they use the same baby Groot design. I don't think so, but it'd be cool if they use a similar CGI kind of a look for him and made the animation style just different. But I doubt it. It probably will just be 2D animation. We'll find out. We'll find
Yeah,
out. Ironheart got formally announced as well. Again, the actress has already been
yeah,
cast
and
for
we had
this.
heard about this for a little bit now.
We had heard about this for a little bit now. Obed, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some kind of hologram of Robert Downey Jr. in this series. This would be the one. And yeah, another character that I joke about where people had no idea who this character is unless you're a Marvelite. The world will be introduced
I
to
don't know.
a new
I was familiar with her.
I know you are.
She's
Yes.
relatively new though. That
Yes, she's
yeah.
been new, created pretty new, like what,
Mhm.
2010 maybe or something like that,
Around the same time
2012.
as Miles, probably.
Yeah, somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I mean, she's uh, when you get that scene in Civil War where he's at MIT or whatever, she's supposed to be like an MIT student or something. So she's not trying to be Iron Man. She's Iron Heart, not creating the same thing, but
Mhm.
similar-ish in abilities. So that'll be fun. Moon Knight, Obed. Now this is one that's coming in 2022. They already got footage for it, and we got to see the footage for it. What's your
Looks
thoughts
good.
on Moon Knight,
It
man?
looks good because
Oscar Isaac.
it looks. I love Oscar Isaac, man. He's great. So I'm looking forward to see what they bring to Moon Knight, which basically it's like Batman with like multiple personality disorders, like real like
Which
problems.
Batman kind of does have, like
He
Bruce
does
Wayne and Batman, but in this
well
situation, you hear the
his
voices.
true self is Batman. His
Right,
disguise is Bruce Wayne, right? So
right.
um but this is like taking it to a little more of a like uh yeah, a little further in that uh sort of scenario, but also throwing a little bit of magic there too. So
Yeah,
yeah,
sure. I mean, it'll be cool to see.
looks good. Kind of scary. Looks kind of like in the middle, like it's
Yeah,
like an action horror thing. It looks good.
yeah. I mean, you get that shot of him in the backside of the cape, just beating up some dude, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Ooh, okay, Marvel, this is gonna be fun." Yeah, Miss Marvel, another one we got some more footage for, coming summer 2022. So this is interesting. I thought originally, from what we had heard, this was supposed to also come out the fall of this year. Hawkeye would have been sooner, but it's kind of interesting when you see the way Hawkeye is. It was definitely designed for the holidays, so glad
yeah,
that's coming out where it is.
yeah.
This one was I everyone assumed it'd be early first quarter of next year. Now we know this is gonna be summer, so curious what the delay is on this project, but regardless, we'll get a nice show here. Looks like a sweet show. Looks cute with the kids. So
Yeah.
then we get her
It
in, of
reminds
course,
me of,
the
yeah.
Marvels.
Reminded me of what I've seen from Stargirl. Kind of like a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah, that did
Yeah.
remind me of that. That's a
Like
good point.
I haven't watched Stargirl, but I've seen bits and
It's good.
clips,
It's
right?
good for what
So
it is.
yeah, so it kind of reminds me of that
Yeah, this
sort
will
of,
be another generation that grows up with again another new hero that people get to learn and know.
yeah.
Secret Invasion, not much more to be said here. Again, was already announced. We get a nice quick little look we saw of Nick
Nick
Fury
Fury.
with the white beard and scar on the side of his face. That'll be fun. And then She-Hulk, Obed. How do
Okay,
you feel about this one? Because
okay.
I liked like the fun comedy in the trailer, like the
I was on the fence.
PSA, but
I was on the fence, but
yeah.
the trailer was good.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and again we see Banner like in full
Yeah.
like smart Hulk. So it's weird. Like,
Yeah.
is this happening during the blip or is it like after? Like at this point, there's no point of going back. It's like she just keep moving the timeline forward. So I we'll find out what's going on with the Hulk. but,
Interesting that they
but
chose
yeah, it
to. I
looks
mean,
good.
I know this is to be more of a grounded thing. Disney Plus shows are not trying to be super over the top because this is a
Mm-hmm.
TV version. But like at the same time, it still is interesting that they chose to go away from the origin of her being always green, and in this one it's like similar to him. She can kind of turn it on and off. I thought that was a interesting choice.
Yep.
Not too surprised, but at the same time we'll see if they do it right and how that comes about. But She-Hulk, cool character if they can get done
Yeah.
right. Spider-Man freshman year, Obed. This is cool because this is basically like an MCU version still. So you get still the Tom Holland Spider-Man, but you're basically putting him in an animated version. And we didn't really get to see his origin. When we watch Spider-Man Homecoming, he's already been Spider-Man for a little bit, which it's kind of an origin, but it isn't.
It's like
Where this
Spider-Man Year One.
Right.
Yeah.
This is like an actual, OG Spider-Man. He got the bite, which is another thing you see in the trailer, right? Where he references ever since I got bitten by the spider, something we've not seen on camera for Tom Holland Spider-Man. So we don't know how, but we know this
Mm-hmm.
will be the origin, but they'll do an animated version. Does not say Tom Holland will do the voice, so we'll probably get a very Walmart version brand of Tom Holland doing the voice for this series, if I had to guess. What If season two? Already knew about that, and Marvel Zombies is the last one. Sorry, Obed. I don't know how you feel about it. I'm indifferent again. I'm
Yeah,
not a zombies guy. I don't know how they're gonna make a full series on this. One episode in What If was okay for me,
yeah.
but I don't know about a whole series. Again, if it's a stinker, doesn't matter. If it's great, cool. Don't know, but okay, sure.
Well, I mean, if Ant Man's gonna be in it, and because
True, the
he
comedy.
was great
Yeah.
on the What If, so if it's gonna be centered around Scott, and it's gonna be written as good as that episode or his dialogue was for that What If
Yes.
episode, then I'm in. But other than that, I'm indifferent. I would have to wait and see on this one. Yeah,
Same, same.
yeah,
That's all we got from my standpoint. If you got anything else from Disney, there's a lot of things Disney announced, but from the Marvel side,
yeah. For the more, I think that's good.
yeah,
That's good for now. Yeah. Because we talked about Obi-Wan already, and we've known about Star Wars stuff, and there's more Star Wars stuff coming out next week, right? What's
allegedly,
yeah. So based on what I heard, so we'll see.
yeah.
All right. So we mentioned someone that needs to be basically dragged out of their office
Oh
physically.
boy,
Just to end the show on a real cheery note. Uh, so we've talked about Activision and the drama that's going on with the alleged behavior of some of the employees and a culture of harassment and all the everything that's been happening. I'm not gonna go into details because I don't want to get too depressed before going to sleep tonight. Um, but there was another walkout of employees calling for Bobby Kotick to be, basically calling for him to resign. Um, he put out a statement, basically, sort of, kind of like denying the allegations that the company's been going through, but also at the same time contradicting himself with a lot of other stuff. Um, it got out that he knew of the behavior and he actually participated in some of it to some extent. I'm not gonna go into details again. We're a family podcast, family friendly podcast, so we're not gonna go too much into the weeds. But um, after that was discovered and I guess confirmed by the person that was allegedly involved in all of this, a group of investors or shareholders are calling for him to resign. Employees are calling for him to resign. Yesterday, Jim Ryan from PlayStation he was asked about it, and I don't have his statement, but it was like, yeah, I think it's time for him to move aside and move the company in another, it's time for the company to move in another direction. Today, Phil Spencer came out and said that they're evaluating the relationship they have with Blizzard.
wow.
So it's bad. It's bad at this point. Uh, as of right now, he has not resigned. It seems to me that he has no plans of resigning. Um, only, I mean, the only course of action that I can see, right, is that shareholders have an emergency meeting and they vote him out. That's they do basically they need to do a Michael Eisner. what they what they did to, and granted, Michael Eisner, as far as I know, did not uh, encouraged or participated in this sort of behavior, but his was more of a financial, thing. In this case, I think that the shareholders can just go ahead and oust him. In my opinion, that's what needs to be done. I think enough is enough. We've heard we've been talking about Blizzard for Activision Blizzard for a couple of months now, with all this stuff that's happening. It's very negative. I think that the sooner the gaming industry as a whole addresses this problem of toxicity uh, and this frat boy thing that it was cool back in the 80s and 90s, but come on guys, it's like it's getting with the times, right? It's like whenever you go back and watch like a comedy from the 90s and they start making jokes, it's like ooh man, that's
Dude, there's some stuff
does
if you go
does
back to
not
before
hold up.
20, there's stuff you go to before 2016 that I've even gone to that I'm like, oh my gosh, that was
Yeah,
tone deaf.
yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah, this is bad, man. I mean, when like, you went through it, the Jim Ryan stuff and the
yep.
Phil Spencer stuff, man, like those are big players involved. When those guys like speak, the rest of the industry is going to definitely take extra notice on it. You got them showing if they're showing any type of support with the staff that are protesting this, which I mean, look, I'm not trying to be this way, but look, the fact of the matter is that they've got enough stuff to prove this individual by any means is aware of this under their watch. You've got to take responsibility, right? Like you
Yeah,
can't just say like, "Oops, my bad. People got hurt. I won't let it happen again." Continue on. Like you've got to be able to
yeah.
take the consequences for it, right?
So I found Jim Ryan's statement,
Okay, cool.
or at least part of it, right? That's out there. It's we outreached to Activision immediately after the article was published to express our deep concern and to ask how they plan to address the claims made in the article. Um, and basically continues on to we do not believe their statements of response properly address the situation.
Hmm.
And and then the Phil Spencer stuff. Let me look it up so we can.
Because we like to fact check our stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, exactly. We're not gonna.
Sources are telling me.
Sources are telling me. So hopefully this doesn't play video here and makes it like incredibly stupidly loud. This type of hair has no place in our industry. So it looks like it's a little bit more involved. Hold on. The bridge. Here we go. I
it's
cannot
it's
see.
great that this is still getting continued coverage. We had told you guys here on the show we would continue to keep everyone updated on
Yeah.
what happens here because it's just so largely has such large implications for the whole industry. And that's why this is a very important moment in history. And like this is one of those moments where I personally would ask myself, what side of history do you want to be remembered on? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. So the Spencer thing, there's only just snippets out there, but
Okay.
basically there's one quote from all those saying that they're evaluating all aspects of their relationship. So,
Wow.
bro,
Wow.
it's like they gotta make the change. Like this, it's time, dude. It's time. I mean, this has been going on for publicly for a few months now.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes for many years, allegedly, right?
Yeah.
Um, I think, and I remember back in the day, Activision was kind of like EA back in the day too. They were. I want to say that they were pioneers because they were doing things differently, and even going back to when the original Call of Duty, excuse me, when the first few Call of Duties came out up until like Modern Warfare, um, it seemed that there was some clear direction, at least in the Activision part. When they bought or merged with Blizzard, that became a whole different story, right? It seems that most of these problems are coming from the Blizzard end of things, but at the end of the day, it's like a rotten apple, you know, damages the whole barrel or whatever they say, whatever the saying is. So, um, yeah, man, it's bad, and It's about time that this gets addressed, and it seems like a lot of the bigger companies. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on. Uh, like Sony and Microsoft, Microsoft, I know for sure, it's a it's a top tier employer.
Yeah, definitely.
And from what I've seen, you know, and this is just me looking into like LinkedIn, right? From what I see, that people that work directly with PlayStation are seem to be happy working there. So it looks like this, good old boy thing mentality that they've been carrying from the Blizzard days is just not paying off anymore. Um, I'm sure that at some point, you know, like um, the Ubisoft stuff is gonna get addressed. That's a whole different kind of worms. Them
Yeah.
being, a foreign company, there's cultural differences. It's the same when we talk about Konami, right? And we talk about Konami just cutting people's emails and having them scan their face through a camera before they go in the office and all this stuff that we heard about Konami that we talked a few years ago back when MGS5 was coming out. Um, it's just, I mean, it's bad, right? But at the end of the day, you have to consider the cultural implications of that. Company based in Japan, things are very different culturally. Company based in France, again, same thing. Um, but when it comes to just here, right, we're all trying to make this country a better place to live. I know that there's a group of people that just wants to go back to the 1600s and burn people to the stake because they don't believe in something. But it's nuts, right? It's uh, we gotta
We have
move
to
forward.
we got to foster an idea
Yeah,
that we can always be better as a people.
correct.
Um,
We gotta move
yeah,
forward as a society and
yeah.
just keep looking forward. And why
And this
why
is a
go
sit
back to the 1950s? It's like you
and if
know
there was good things back then, great, but that doesn't mean everything was, right? There's things that we have today that are continuing to just be for the better. And there's things that are happening today that are not better than they were back then. But we learn from it and evolve as people, and that's what's great.
yeah.
So yeah, this is a learning moment for businesses. Let's hope again as
Oh,
history
absolutely.
as
Yeah.
time goes forward, like what part of history do you want to be on? I don't think this guy wants to have his thing end as the guy who had to get pulled out of his seat, like you were saying, like this is not one of those, I am the Senate,
Yeah,
situations you
it
want to
literally
be. Like
is.
that's not
Yeah.
a good situation to be
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, it literally is. It's like the shareholders were will decide your fate. I am the shareholders. It's like it's just
Man,
oh man.
well, we
It's
love our Star Wars.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll keep you guys updated. It's bad. It's real bad, and I'm hoping it just gets addressed and resolved, and we can move forward. So that's what we got for today, Joe. Like you mentioned, no show next week. We will be back the following week, so that will be on the second. And yeah, hopefully some stuff will happen because I mean it's been a pretty good couple of weeks here. We've had
Yeah.
some big stuff happening, and yeah, by the time we come back, it's gonna be just a little less than 3 weeks for Spidey, and we'll see.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's go ahead and take us home.
Absolutely. Like we said, no episode next week. Thanksgiving here in the States. Happy Thanksgiving in advance, everybody out there and be watching there. Take some time to be thankful and reminisce on things that you're thankful for. We want you to be informed and connected to us, so make sure you stay subscribed to our podcast on podcast platforms. Also, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Make sure you're following us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time. And then, of course, if you would follow us on our Twitch account, where we also stream our episodes live when we are going. So that's on No Load Time altogether on Twitch. You can follow us there. Also, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Want to do a partnership like we're talking about at the start of the show? Send us an email. no load time at gmail.com. That's no load time at gmail.com. Have a great and happy Thanksgiving to all our friends and families out there. See you guys on our next episode.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time.